broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome into AfterBuzz TV's recap of The Good Wife. We are talking red meat today. If you are watching live on YouTube with our live streaming, thank you for being patient with us. We're getting started about a half hour late. We had some technical difficulties with the recording and wanted to watch the whole episode because this was a heater. And if you're watching live, before we get into the show itself, you can tweet us while you are watching. I am on Twitter at Bobby DeMuro. I'm here with Alison Law and Tara Johnson. Guys,
hello.
Where can they tweet you while they're watching?
Well, as always, you can tweet me at That's A Law, ThatsaLaw. That's A Law for me.
And I'm at TJ Wagging Her Tail.
Every week with these two, they're okay, I guess. I deal with you guys.
So we deal with you, boo.
I deal with you guys like Johnny Elfman deals with Alicia's bag woman.
Oh.
It's like that.
I hope you feel a little bit better about
it's like that.
than that.
All right, let's get into this right now. If you are watching live, hit subscribe on YouTube. And actually, if you're not watching live, you hear this tomorrow, hit subscribe on YouTube or iTunes. You can tweet us, obviously, anytime. And we'd love to hear from you. The comments every week are great, so please keep them up. We love hearing from you guys at home. Thank you for that. Let's jump in. Let's start with the election. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the show yet, you shouldn't be watching this. But Alicia wins the election. She is the next state's attorney.
Yeah,
Can we get a boo sound?
I gotta boo the boo.
Spoiler alert!
That was a little late.
Now, where's the boo sound? Boo.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Okay, so let's open with that then. We won't even need it. This is the easiest jump off into a debate ever. You don't like the victory.
I do not like the victory. I am so upset. She shouldn't have won. It wasn't fair. It's just sad.
What was unfair about it?
For one, we all knew that Brady won. He was going to win.
Wait, are you saying like there's a corruption in votes thing?
Yeah, I feel like Brady was winning, and then that whole thing that Peter did to stop the traffic and make sure he didn't get none of his votes.
Oh, so you're saying that was I mean, it was a shrewd move, but you're saying this is on the level of illegal, and there should be like a recall.
It definitely should be a recall.
Oh, no,
Wow.
no recall word. No recall word.
Because that's a different level.
I just feel like it was rigged. I mean, it made me see things differently now. This is what people really do to go
Allison,
to win, you know?
It is so cute that you are so innocent.
I know.
Welcome to politics in Cook County, Illinois, where dead people have been voting for 200 years.
But yeah, I'm not happy because it wasn't fair. If it was fair, then okay.
I will argue the not fair point to the next logical conclusion, which this is the governor's wife. It wasn't fair from the beginning.
Right, it's very true.
And there should be like a recall.
It definitely should be a recall.
Oh, no,
Wow.
no recall word. No recall
We've got a little
word.
playback in our...
What's going on?
Interesting. I was like, wait a minute. I hear my voice in my headphones,
I sound like
and
that.
I'm not talking.
But,
sound like that?
So if you guys heard that at home, apologies for that. We're all having fun here today, including the engineers. Everybody's excited about her win. We've all been drinking, Lord knows what. Okay, let's get into this election, though. Let's dig a little bit deeper on this. So she is the next state's attorney.
She is the
bad thing to you two.
I think so. I mean, I'm not saying it from the election standpoint, because I will actually say I enjoyed Peter's shrewd move toward the end. I thought it was just brilliant, especially after she laid him to him, which I thought was completely uncalled for.
On her end.
I do. I think that whole confrontation between the two of them, I think she blew it completely out of proportion.
She definitely did.
And I think because initially when Johnny called her and she heard for herself, what Peter had said, she said, okay. She's like, what's the big deal? Okay. And yes, this is Alicia's first campaign, but this is not her first ride of the rodeo. Like, she is involved in this kind of stuff. So she was like, okay. And then they told her, he just told everyone not to come to the polls, and he's trying to screw you. And then that's when she goes, what? You don't want me to win. So I believe it was completely blown out of proportion. I think what Peter said was correct. He's been working for months to do things to help her get into office. And the whole thing about Ramona, yeah, it was wrong, not the right time to discuss it.
Right.
Too much cheap shot, below the belt.
Definitely.
I mean, I think that situation was blown out, but at the end of the day, I get now where they were coming from as a voter. I mean, if she's winning already, a lot of people are like, okay, she got it. We don't have to go out and vote for her. So I see where they were coming from, but she definitely blew it out. Like, chill out. It wasn't even that serious.
Right. I definitely understood what they were coming from, but I really we saw it when Peter was talking to the reporter, he was just like, no, it's okay. She's doing her job.
Right.
How do you feel about working with your wife?
I think you two are being fooled by how smooth Peter Florrick is right now. He knew what he was doing, and he knew he was screwing with her with this. But your thing with the reporter, you say, oh, it's just a casual conversation. That's what he wants you to think.
You honestly really think Peter did not want Alicia to win?
I think there's some truth to her.
Stopped this long time ago.
I know he could have, but it would have looked worse. I think this is the best way for him to look good. If she loses, Eli's right. It doesn't come off well for him if the governor's wife loses, but it would have come off a lot worse if he had stopped it a long time ago. It would have come off a lot more petty if he said, I don't want her running, or whatever he would have had to have done. So since it's gotten this far, if she then loses, he says, we tried our hardest.
This is what I feel.
But I'm the winner.
I feel like he knew up front when she said, I want to take this position, that she would not be a great candidate for it. She's going to mess up, and he's going to have to come and help her out and cover up. He knew off rip, like, she is not going to be able to do this and pull it off. So that's probably why he didn't really want her to win, if that's true, because she's not a great candidate. I really feel like Brady would have done the job way better than. She doesn't know anything about this. She doesn't know what she's going to get into. Power is not good for everyone. It's going to bring trouble and drama her way that she's not even prepared for or ready to tackle.
I totally disagree with you. In Alicia, I trust. She's going to have problems. That's the point of watching the show. She's going to have a ton of problems, as I say, but she's going to be better than Castro. And in Alicia, I trust. She's not going to be like whatever, but she's going to do a better job than Peter did in that position. So you think she was better
than Brady? Would be a better.
Yeah,
I think Brady would. She's better than Brady, but that's not an insult to Brady. It's not meant to denigrate him. He would have been fine too in a different way. I think if she had walked away from this and gone back to private law, he would have made a fine state's attorney. He's no Castro either. He would have been better than Castro. But I think now that she's won, there was some truth to what she said about Peter. In my perspective, about her saying to Peter, "You don't want me to win. You want to be the winner in the family." I think there's some truth to that perspective.
But Peter. By having Peter got you where you are.
But let's remember Peter's actions.
If it wasn't for Peter, where would she be?
Exactly. Now you're speaking my language. Let's remember Peter's actions. Peter is a narcissist, okay? Peter, that's classic. He's a narcissist. He cheats on her. He does what he wants with women because it feeds his ego, just like the governorship feeds his ego. This is an ego thing for him. This is what it is. I'm going to armchair diagnose this fake character on television. He's a narcissist, and narcissists don't want to share the spotlight like that.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, do I think he's been a great husband? No. Do I even think he was a great essay from what we saw? No. But do I believe that there's still some part of him, a major part of him, that loves Alicia? And I do believe that he has recognized everything that he's done to her and how he could possibly have hurt her. And this, in my opinion, is the one time where he could redeem himself somewhat, because Alicia being S.A. doesn't look badly upon him.
No.
I mean, they're like this huge power couple. So in my opinion, it's like, okay, Alicia's going to be state's attorney. I've already done that. So it's not as if you're speaking to the narcissist in him. I've already done that. I've already been there, done that. So she's not better than me.
But it's not about the level. It's about sharing the spotlight.
I don't think it's the same spotlight.
It's not the same one, but there is a spotlight. That's the thing.
It's a spotlight, but I don't think it's the same one. I don't think he has a problem with her winning, because I do think that, lo and behold, he being governor and her being SA, as much as Alicia may dislike it, he's still going to have a certain amount of control over her. So he's still going to be at the higher level. And I just believe that this move was a move where he was really trying to help her out and maybe attempt to redeem all the bad stuff that he'd done. I just don't think she's reaching at a high enough level to really touch him and bother his, knocking him off the pedestal.
I get definitely both sides, but at the end of the day, I feel that Peter does like to have power.
Yeah.
And now the focus is not really on Peter, it's all about her. It's not about Peter right now, and that can get to him. And she's power right now, she just got this position. It's all about Alicia right now, and he doesn't like when it's all about other people but himself. So
I'm telling you, he's a narcissist. I don't believe, this is another debate for another time that we are not going to have right now, but I do not believe a part of him still authentically loves her. I think he wants to love her. I think he loves the history they have and the connection they've had. I don't believe he loves her, because he's a narcissist who only loves himself.
But
I do believe he loves her. We would love to hear what you guys have to say.
That's a good debate for comments on YouTube. Open that up.
I
does
do.
he not
I believe
love
he
Alicia
really loves
Florrick?
her. I do.
Because we don't have the time to take 4 hours to debate every point on that one, so we'll leave that alone.
You can be in love with someone and then eventually just fall out.
Yeah,
like you'll have
for sure.
love for them, but I'm not in love with you anymore. And I feel like he has love for her. Like, I got love for you. I want you to do great, but it's not there. That spark that I just, I don't love you like that anymore.
And judging by his actions with that shrewd move, with the voter turnout thing, and then the shrewd move the other side, flipping the traffic or whatever, on the narcissist thing, which is my personal point of view, but on the narcissist perspective, he puts Alicia in the doghouse because he's so powerful he can do that with just speaking to a reporter. And then, hey, Governor Florrick comes to the rescue. He pulls Alicia out of the doghouse. And who gets the credit for the victory? Deep down, Governor Florrick knows, hey, it was me.
But the thing about it, you're 100% right, but Alicia's handlers were trying to get her to go back to him, and she screwed that up. I mean, he wasn't going to do the robocall because he was right. That's dumb. I'm not going to do that. But her handlers, she should realize that without Peter, she really wouldn't be where she is. And I understand what you're saying for the good. For the bad. I mean, for the good, too. I mean, yes, she had to defend herself. Okay, in the beginning of her election, everyone was like, but you're Peter's wife and blah, 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 blah. But you elected him your governor, right? So here I am. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. My husband went to jail, and I took care of the family. He got out of jail. We, reunited. He won the governorship, that kind of thing. It's this great big, thing. I don't think it looks bad on either one of them. I just feel as if she completely went in wrong and incorrect, and I maybe I am swinging the love Peter flag, but I'm on Peter's side on this one. I'm on Peter's side on this one.
That's fair. You just like Chris Noth.
Just keep it real and tell it like it is.
That is true too. I do like Chris Noth. That's true.
Let's talk about the rest of the campaign, the rest of the election, because that Peter-Alicia debate we could stay on for days.
Yeah, we could.
But let's open that up to the comments. And broadly speaking, does Peter even love Alicia? I would love to hear what people have to say about that.
I would love to hear that.
And then more specifically speaking, let's talk about that scene in the comments and what you guys think at home about the yelling match scene that they had and the ramifications of that yelling match. We'd love to hear what you guys think. We could write paragraphs in the comments on YouTube or on Twitter about
hopefully we'll get some. I know there's some people
about Peter and Alicia.
Some of you guys have been holding back lately.
I would love to hear it, so bring it on. But elsewhere in this election realm, let's talk about another love interest. Am I going to go Johnny or am I going to go Finn? Let's go Finn first. Let's talk about Halo.
Yo, boo.
That is
Team Finn over here.
Tara's face just lights up.
You know why? Because this episode proves it. Johnny could have been a great role in the hay, but he wasn't. But that's all he would have been good for. Finn, he's the gift at the door when you're waiting for your election results.
What a metaphor.
Right?
That was really good, but don't remember, now it's about to turn that sunny sky into a dark day. Finn is moving on. He's tired of waiting.
But he should move on, though. I guess that's the whole thing. They've had their moments. Alicia's had her chances. But even though he's still moving on, he still drops off the gift. They're playing Halo, and who comes to save her day? Like, he's the person who comes to save your day. Johnny Elfman is like the one who rolls in for a nice ride.
Can I take one step back? Why are we taking at face value that Finn has a woman in his life? What if he was telling a little fib?
And I kind of saw the hesitation when he said that. I looked over and I was like, he lying. I mean, he could be saying that to protect himself because he's like, I'm getting feelings. I like her. But
he has a lot to lose if he gets caught by the governor.
And at the end of the day, he knows it's not going to go anywhere past go. We can make out and do that, but that's not what I want. I actually care about her, and I want something more. So he can be protecting himself at the end of the day.
I think he's dating someone. The hesitation was, I don't want to tell Alicia that I'm seeing someone.
You think that because Finn to you is perfect, and there's no reason he wouldn't be dating someone.
He is.
Is he dating you?
Don't I wish?
Are you an unnamed character on The Good Wife and you Finn?
I wish. I wish I was. What's her name who came on today who had the great part? I mean, she got a great check. The person who was Tabitha
Gray. I didn't even like her.
Well, hold on. We'll get to her.
I would love if I were dating Finn. No, I think he's a great support. We've talked about this before. They have a lot in common. She supports him. When she was sitting there trying to figure out how she felt about the possibility of losing the election, who was talking her through that? It wasn't Johnny. It was Finn, and he could understand it because he was in the SA's race, then pulled out. He was in the SA's office. Now he has his own firm. I mean, they have the common interest.
Connection.
Yeah, they have the connection.
He's been there from day one. But the thing I do want to say about Alicia is something about her. She always leads people on, bring them in, have them catching feelings. And with the one boy, what's his name? I can't believe I just forgot his name. The boy that's leaving it, she liked the other guy.
Johnny Elfman.
You know, she came in the room. She was about to walk to him, turn around to Peter, and he's like, you know what? I like her and I got feelings, but I'm about to get out of here.
Well,
you know,
I think everyone realizes, regardless of how they feel about Alicia, she's still Peter's wife.
Yeah.
And regardless of what happens between the two of them, they can go behind the stage and have heated arguments. But when they come out in front of those cameras, I mean, I even said it when we were watching. I was like, they play this part really well. Like they just fall back into it. I mean, they're looking in each other's eyes and they're laughing and they're smiling, and he's, has his hand on the small of her back. They play this part really well. So Johnny wants it, Finn wants it, but ultimately they know she's still Peter's wife. She's still the governor's wife.
That's why Finn is backing out.
And Johnny's backing out too. And both of them have learned a valuable lesson. Kids at home, we like to teach relationship lessons on the show occasionally. And this relationship lesson is brought to you by every public figure that has ever lived.
Right.
If you're going to date a public figure, be romantically involved with a public figure, you need to become a public figure, especially in this society today, especially with politicians. For better or worse, there is no private life for politicians, and increasingly actors and athletes and things like that too. There's no private life. So Alicia and Peter are privately not a couple.
Right.
But every public indication everywhere is public figure. This is what we do. This is what we are. And Johnny and Finn, I think, are realizing that they don't want to tackle public life Alicia the way that it is right now. Not just the marriage, I think, but the whole deceit kind of behind the marriage.
Right.
They don't want to tackle that whole thing. And if you don't want to tackle that thing, you shouldn't get involved with a public figure. So to me, Johnny getting on the elevator at the end of the show and saying, I'm going to L.A., or, not saying that, but effectively meaning that, good move. And Finn, whether he's lying or whether he's serious, you should have another girl.
He should.
Good move.
Yeah.
I mean, did anyone else? I mean, I kind of felt like Johnny throughout the entire show was kind of going back and forth with his decision. When he was on the couch and asking Alicia to get Peter to do the robocall, and she was like, he won't do it. You kind of saw his face light up like, okay, maybe I have a chance.
And you saw the Johnny and Finn tension when Finn walked in to drop off Halo. There's a lot of tension there for really no real reason.
Well,
you can't really.
I don't think Finn had any tension. He knows he's the main person. It was Johnny who felt
you could
threatened.
you could feel Johnny for as smooth as he is and as whatever
Johnny's
badass
insecure.
he is.
He's insecure.
He totally felt insecure.
No matter what, Finn walks in like, boy, bye, you ain't nothing. Come on.
Thank you.
And Johnny is like, ugh.
He did. He felt uncomfortable.
So, it was just all, I'm like, boy, you're so insecure. Like, you do not play your role well.
Well, he felt insecure from the first scene in the show when they're sitting in the car, and she's like, we're okay. And he's like, yes, we should be fine. If the people come out to the polls, you'll be all right. Like, he can't even think about or actually talk about the fact he threw up against an elevator, the episode before and toned her down.
Allison, question for you, because I know that we have Team Finn over here sitting in Tara's seat. Are you Team Finn, Team Johnny, or Team Peter? You got to pick one. Don't say none.
No. I've always been off rip. The type of guy I would settle down with and marry and be with is Finn, because he's tall. Johnny's short. Johnny's really short. I really seen it this episode. They're walking out the door, the height range. I was like, dang, Johnny.
I love that we're having this deep discussion of the good wife. She's like, well, Finn's tall, so I mean, come on.
When you're tall, 6'3" and taller, I'd be like, ooh, height, cute. And then the dark hair. The dark hair is just amazing. Of course, I'm a little midget, so I don't want little midgets walking around. I need a tall man. And I just love him better. His swag, his energy. Peter, me and him wouldn't get along because he thinks he's too controlling, demanding. Me and Peter, we would not work out. Me and Finn, he's really romantic, just there for you. Like, I connect more with him. Now, don't get me wrong, Johnny would have been back in my young days, like when I wanted a little bad boy. So,
your young days, you're like 24. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
So what I'm really asking is, we shouldn't book Matthew Good, the actor who plays Finn Palmer. We shouldn't book him for an interview because you two will not be able to stay off the couch.
We should book him, and it just would be a nice time.
He would never know. He would never know.
Just a little sidetrack. I'm sorry, I had to get that out there. Thank you guys for being patient with me. A little more on the election. Let's talk about the election itself, not just the relationships around it, but actually the victory itself. And then this interesting Frank and Alicia meeting, the real concession. I think I can say definitively, and not in a romantic way, but you guys are both Team Frank. You both really like him.
I do.
For the position, Team Frank.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alicia and Frank are cool people, but when it comes to the position, Frank would have did a way better job.
Do you think, I don't want to get too far into predictions now, but I think we need to talk about this right here, this moment, because she asked him to join her as deputy SA, and he turned her down, flat out.
Flat out.
What's he doing next? Because the Good Wife folks said he will be back. David Hyde Pierce will be back. What does he do next on the show?
And that's a good question. I honestly, like, I looked over and I was like, is that a smart decision for him? I was like, to our member, I was like, should he take it? Like, they will work well together. But when he came back, I was like, girl, I don't even like the way your mindset, the way you think, it's not going to work out. That kind of made me think, well, it sounds like he has something else planned.
I think he's going to go back to what he was doing before.
Was he a radio host or something?
He was a legal. He did interviews, and he was like
he had some sort of media show. Yeah, that's right. Oh, you're right.
Show.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to go back to what he did before, and I think he's going to be the person who speaks and watches Alicia and her husband in both their positions really closely. I mean, he's going to be the voice of Alicia, and whether she likes it or not, and most of the time he's probably going to disagree with her because they disagree in the way they handle things, but she's not going to be able to deny, and I know it sounds like a little prediction, but she's not going to be able to deny what he says about her because he really knows who she is.
Alicia.
And she knows who he is, and he's a really honest person. I mean, I think he's a better person than Alicia. I don't know if he would make a better essay, only because I think Alicia's going to surprise all of us, too, because I think anyone would be better than Castro, but I think she's going to become a little more Castro-ish than even she expects.
Well, I hope she's surprised, because at the end of the day, this was not something in her heart. It was not her passion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Frank, this is something he lived, breathed, slept. This is what he wanted.
I don't know if it was in his heart either. I think he got in. Remember when he got in because there was a kind of a glut of qualified candidates, too. I think both of them. He knew more about it.
He was more passionate about it.
He did. He knew more about the political side.
They had to train Alicia for this.
Yeah.
She didn't know nothing about it. So
he did know more about the political side, but I think both of them are kind of like very smart individuals who could do a very good job, but this is not in the wheelhouse for either one of them,
really.
arguably.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a relief for him. He was like, I really didn't even want to do this.
Just like it would have been for her if she lost. Yeah. But I think there would have been value to having him on the team, not just because he's intelligent and capable, but when you're in power, it's easier to sustain that power, as weird as this sounds. You don't want sycophants around you. You don't want people who totally agree with you around you. You need people who disagree with you around you, because when you say something ridiculous, they will call you on it. When you have a ridiculous plan, they'll put you back in place. When you have yes men or yes women around you, you better hope your plans are right, and if they're not, you're going into the ground.
And she knows that, too. I think that's one of the reasons why. I think she asked him because she realizes that he's a good person, and she needs that good angel on her shoulder.
Yeah.
But also because the fact that when they were saying, well, what is Frank Prady going to do next? I think she felt sorry for him because he gave up his career to run this race thinking I'm going to win and this is going to be my next thing. So she's like, well, I like Frank. I think Frank's a great person. I think
she felt sorry
for him. She felt sorry for him. So she offered him the job for that reason, too. And I loved how he turned her down. I think that just shows his real character. The fact that he was like, I'm not going to take that job.
Like, girl, I'm not your little charity
case.
Work. He was like, boy, bye. Girl, bye. He said, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Okay. I knew that was coming. Let's say bye, Felicia, to the election for right now. Add your comments in on YouTube if we missed something on the election or you want to hit something we didn't talk about. And again, remember that whole Peter and Alicia debate. I can't wait to see that.
Please.
But let's move on. We're kind of limited in time. We've got about 20 minutes left. Let's talk about Diane and hunting. This is an interesting topic for the client perspective, and we'll get there in a second, but it's hilarious to me. The funniest part is when she's sitting there with the food, and McVeigh, I think it was her husband at this point, and McVeigh was like, you okay? She's like, yeah. I liked it. I liked shooting something. Because it's so, she plays in this episode the stereotypical liberal to, Reese Dippel's stereotypical conservative, and then she's like, oh my God, I can't like shooting stuff. I'm not allowed to like shooting stuff.
You say that was the funniest part of that situation, but the funniest part to me is when she was outside with the guys.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that's not his wife. That's a call girl.
That's his call girl.
And the look on her face was just priceless. Like, what? I thought that was funny. That was funny to me. I got a chuckle out of that.
That was another good one. You don't see Diane put her foot in her mouth very often.
Yeah.
So. You really don't. She's too powerful and too intelligent to do that.
Bossy.
So that one was a good one. But what do we make of this hunting thing? It speaks to one more universal truth, I guess. I don't know if this is a truth or just kind of a general thing that I think a lot of us can relate to, but when you are trying to network for a job or get a client, sometimes, whether you call it the law of attraction with the universe or whatever you believe in, I don't know if I believe in that, but it's sort of that same idea that the more you want something, the less you're going to get it. And so she really, really wanted this Gil Barrage and was doing everything. I got to get in his blind. I got to talk to him. I got to talk to his wife, call girl. I got to do this. I got to do that. Fail, fail, fail. I'll just talk to this guy about abortion, screw this. And then she turns around and says, oh, wait a minute, the pressure was off me, but he's worth, $11 billion.
But sometimes you're still, the universe, you're still attracted to things. You're still attracted to what you want. So this whole time she was trying to fight for that player. It's like a chess game. She wanted that one, but at the end of the day, what she really wanted was right in her face,
And that's the thing is
but her being herself, right, in her pure, just being herself, he was attracted to that. You know what? I could do business with you. Give me a call. Mind you, he's a billionaire, the fourth one, right?
Because she wasn't the fourth richest in America.
The trip still worked out in her favor. Her goal was to get that client, but she left, I think, with a much better client,
for sure. But that's the thing. It's once you stop trying so hard to push something, that's when you just let it come to you.
Let it come. Be patient. Let me tell everyone out there from experience, just be patient. It's going to come. Your time will come. Like, stop trying to pressure and push and force things.
Just stop being extra.
Yeah, extra.
Is that the word? Did I use it correctly?
He's extra.
Oh, my Lord. All right, back to Diane. Good shot. Don't believe it at all. There's no way she can hit that deer on the move. I'm sorry, Diane. I'm not buying that.
That was so skit to me. Skit.
No way.
I'm surprised she took it. Like, even when it really came down to it, I just didn't think. When we heard the gunshot, I thought it was RD's shot. I had no idea Diane really went for it because she was just protesting so much. And it was the deer was out of focus and it was out of the shot range. But I was like, she's not going to do it. She's never going to do it. And then I'm thinking, what's the ramifications going to be after that for the fact that she didn't take the shot? Completely surprised me that she shot. She did the shot.
I think it was kind of that scene. Kind of, I got a little in my feelings or sentimental because it was like, dang, he's in his natural habitat. He's just chilling, smelling the flowers, playing in the snow.
Oh, the deer, not Reese Dibble.
He's in the snow, like living his life regular. He's not trying to attack no one. And the fact that people are out there hunting and killing these innocent animals, it kind of touched me a little bit.
Well, depending on where you are, deer are overpopulated. Deer do cause a menace. I mean, just like anything that's overpopulated, like humans, but we're not going to start hunting them.
So that goes against what they were saying about abortions. He's talking about stop, don't do that, but yet you want to kill these animals. So it kind of was like,
Well, that's one of the great hypocritical, if you want to say it or not, but one of the great debates is some of these political issues is you're pro-life in some instances and not so pro-life in other instances. And that, does it make it right or wrong? I don't know. But it gives him 2 hours to talk about it in a deer blind.
To me, it seemed like he felt that humans are more important than animals. He's talking about not killing the humans, but she, on the other hand, was like, animals are more important. She kind of felt
until she pulled the trigger.
Yeah, until she pulled the trigger, but she kind of you saw her kind of getting her feelings a little bit, like, but he's just not, And then when the food came, she felt bad, like she didn't want to eat it, like, was a bad thing.
No, she felt bad, but she liked it. That's what she was terrified with.
So it kind of, it was a
she
twist.
Liked it.
It was a twist to it afterwards.
That's what was so funny is she's the bleeding heart liberal, the stereotype of everything liberal, and I'm like, being more liberal myself, I'm like, Diane, I'm there with you, I feel you. And then she's like, I liked it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it scares her.
She hates it that she liked it. Absolutely.
She hates it that she likes it.
That's disgusting to me.
And I don't think this is the last time we've seen RD. I think we're going to see more of him.
For sure. She proved herself to him through the abortion debate just because she's smart enough to handle it. She's cool enough to do it with him.
He thinks he's like, you're smart.
And she is. She is. And she proved it by pulling the trigger.
Right.
That's for him, that's the other networking thing in this situation with her story is you got to prove yourself to be one of the, I don't want to say guys because there is a gender difference, but you got to prove yourself to be one of the people.
You got to be a badass.
Right. Yeah.
And
for
Artie's
him,
a badass. And that turned him on,
Yeah, and I don't think he's ever going to say, hey, you need to come hunting every weekend with me to be my client. But just, I saw who you are, you proved me who you are, I like that, I can work with you. And I think he's going to be a client for sure. Yeah. And then her husband was just kind of funny doing his thing, that spa day. I'm glad she left the spa, especially knowing about the call girl. Yeah. But I'm glad she left the spa. That would have been awful. Is this
the real life? Like, do they come out and be like, okay, you either can bring your wife or you can bring a call girl? Like, is this the life they live right now?
Hey, in this situation, I mean...
You guys, Gil hates all the Jews around, but he's not anti-Semitic.
Right.
What?
I was like, wow. I wonder how much her bill was for that weekend, but I guess it doesn't matter to someone like Gil. He can afford it.
My question was, is Diane a Jew?
No, I think it was just such an offensive thing. You wouldn't ever... you would never be like, whoa, dude, come on.
And you could tell she wanted to say something, but
she's looking at like.
And she was wrestling with what Alicia's wrestled with. Do you go money and clients, or do you go on morality? Mm-hmm. And luckily she didn't have to make that choice at the end of the day.
True.
Or at least that we know so far with Dipple. But she will make that choice in a different way with the abortion thing. We won't take on pro-life cases. We won't take on anti-choice cases.
I think people need to learn from Diane. She's a great example. She is a boss. She is a professional woman. She's a great wife. I'm just Team Diane all of a sudden. But people really can look up to her and take example from this character, Yeah. Diane's a pretty good lady.
Interesting. Let's move on to our last topic because we got a little bit of news we want to hit too. Let's talk Kalinda and Lamont. Lamont's getting out of the game. He is retiring. This opens up a window to kill off or make Kalinda Sharma disappear.
Right.
What do we make of Lamont retiring?
My question is, I don't really understand this drug bad boy life thing. So why did he say usually a drug dealer that retires end up in prison?
Because people rat on him. People turn over.
He loses his power.
You have no more clout. You can't, your subsidiary of dealers will go to other people. And then people say, wait a minute, you were powerful. You know a lot of stuff, but you can't do anything for me now. You have no protection against me. When the police come to me and say, give us a name or we're going to arrest you, this guy, look at Lamont, that guy.
So why is he's retiring for his son's sake?
For his son, yeah.
Definitely.
But he's still going to be in danger regardless.
Well, of course, what he needs to do is move to Luxembourg or something. I mean, he needs to get the hell out of Chicago.
And he's going to take Kalinda with him because now she's developed a relationship with Dylan. Like, this kid just talks all the time. I was saying that we were watching the show. I was like, this kid he just wants someone to listen to him. It seems like I don't know anything about the death of him and Lamont's relationship, but when it comes to he and Kalinda, he just is talking. It seems like he's desperate for attention.
Someone. He doesn't have a mother. Like, she's the new lady figure in his life,
Yeah, the new
But my
female
question
figure.
is that going back to the tap of the girl who got her SAG card and got the good rose, I feel like she was the cause of getting Dylan kicked out.
For sure.
For sure.
100%. The parent or whatever at the car, 100%.
That was really ignorant and it was just cruel.
Well, from the kids at the school perspective, that's the son of a bad dude.
And I'm sure they've been waiting for just any type of
but he is a
incident
great student.
to get him
He's
out.
nothing like his father. Like, why are you? This is the kid. You have to think about the child right now.
Listen.
Even though he has a terrible father, he's a good child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Lamont is used to this. I mean, I think he was just waiting for the shoe to drop because he was like, this is the third school he got kicked out of. We'll take him to another school. He's going to get kicked out of the two. He realized, what was the line he
mentally,
used?
this is effing him up. He doesn't gain a relationship with friends. He's not having a great childhood right now.
They don't just play politics in the political realm.
Absolutely not. It's everywhere.
Now, back on this Kalinda Bishop, my question is, Kalinda was being followed this whole darn time. What is up with the person that was following her? Who was it? Geneva
Pines. You remember her.
Pines.
She's the assistant state's attorney, the younger black woman working under Castro, who had the improper relationship with the detective.
Okay, now it's coming back.
Yeah.
So why Kalinda?
Well, because they're looking for something to pin with the Carey case. They still want to pin a connection. And that's an interesting thing. I guess Carey can't be retried. It was dismissed without prejudice or whatever.
Right.
So Carey can't go up again. But maybe Geneva Pine or Castro believes that there is another opportunity to pursue Kalinda or Diane, the firm in general.
I think it's Lamont. I think they're still trying to find something to pin down Lamont Bishop. They realize now Kalinda's
they can't get Carey, so they ultimately want
I think
Lamont,
it's all about Lamont. Yeah,
it is.
It totally goes back.
And guess who the new state's attorney is? Who's going to have to do something with this case? Whether
Alicia.
Stop investigating or go after it is Alicia.
Right.
That'll be interesting.
And or even more importantly, first it's Kalinda, because that's what he's saying to Kalinda. I need you now more than ever. You need to be the go-between. And originally she said, I can't do that. And then that was the end of that discussion. So we'll have to figure out if she can really do that.
And that goes to show that everybody's money ain't good money. Bishop can put some money into that. He was like, I put a lot of money to her winning.
Life lessons with Alison Law.
Ladies and gentlemen out there, every money is not good money, so think wisely.
Let's, real quick, we got a couple minutes left. Let's jump into news and gossip right now.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Tara Johnson, I understand you have breaking news.
Breaking news. Well, this is exciting. I would love to hear everyone's opinion on this, but the Kings have been quoted in an E! News article that came out March 18th, and they're just giving a list. We know there's tons and tons of guest stars on The Good Wife, and they're giving a list of the people who they would love to have on the show. So they mentioned John Lithgow.
This is their wish list.
This is their wish list.
John Lithgow, okay, from Third Rock.
From Third Rock. Amy Poehler.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And of course, if there's Amy, there's always Tina Fey.
You mean Sarah Palin? But sure, okay. That would be a great real-life political... Oh, my God. Anyways, go on. I don't want to...
This one surprised me. Sarah Silverman.
Oh, that's a shocker.
She did do, what did she do? Masters of Sex, and played a comedic character in a dramatic series and was awesome at it, so, okay.
That's a little surprising to me, but this one I would love to see myself. James Earl Jones. Ooh. Who doesn't love a James Earl? And they wanted George Clooney, but he did a stint on Downton Abbey, so they think that's unlikely now. But,
George Clooney and Peter looks too much alike, though. I don't think that would have worked out.
That would be the best episode of my entire life.
George Clooney and Chris Noth.
Just putting it out there.
I wish I could have George Clooney.
Info on a replacement for Kalinda Sharma. Robert and Michelle King say this about her exit, quote, "She can't go out Will Gardner style because you guys know that she's leaving. Will Gardner style was that no one knew." That's true. Mm-hmm. So that could be a shock. Since everybody expects Kalinda's departure, it's a whole different beast. Furthermore, don't expect a new Kalinda type to join the firm. Robert King added, "There will be a new character, but not a Kalinda-style character." Quote, "There's a certain amount of money for regular actors you have on every episode. With the loss of Archie, there's a gap, there's a hole, but it was like that with the loss of Will Gardner. We didn't want it to be a Gardner type, which is why we added Matthew Good, Finn Polmar. There will be a new character, but I wouldn't say it would be Kalinda specific."
Okay.
Interesting. Not much to go on, but just something to kind of get a base for when we start talking about a new character. Real quick, let's move now into predictions.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
And I should say we have one more piece of news that I will do next week about Chris Noth. It's not a breaking thing. It's just more of a cool thing for our Canadian viewers. So I'll drop that next week. I want to have enough time for predictions. Let's start with you, Miss Johnson.
Well, my prediction goes right back, and I think I've made this one before, but I'm even feeling stronger about it. It's Lamont, Kalinda, Dylan. They got to leave town. They have to get out of that.
You're saying they're starting a new family?
I don't want to even say it's starting a new family because Kalinda doesn't seem very happy about this, but it seems like it's going to be possibly where she has to be in order to, one, get Lamont where he needs to be, and two, get Lamont out of Alicia's way. Because if Lamont stays and tries to get out of the game, I mean, it's gonna fall right on Alicia's lap. So she has to do something. So I believe Kalinda's going to be the one thing that gets Lamont and his son out of town.
And three, Kalinda must now protect herself because the SA has been following her.
Yes.
And so something may come before the regime shifts over to Alicia or whatever, but Kalinda's career as we know it may be over because of what her connection out of Lamont.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my prediction would be that every power isn't good power, and it's going to be some drama, and it's going to be some, excuse my language, y'all, it's going to be some shit thrown at Alicia that she may not be able to handle and be prepared for. So you guys should we should be really prepared to see some shit happening with her in this position. And then, of course, the whole Kalinda and Lamont thing, of course, he needs to get out. He's not safe, him and his son. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know yet, but I do know it's trouble coming their way, so he needs to leave fast.
We have seen two major blow-ups with Alicia and Peter recently, this week, and several weeks ago in the hallway. Remember that? They had a huge blow-up in a hallway. This is probably 5 episodes ago. But those are two big blow-ups that we don't see. They're usually very measured, and we've had two big blow-ups. The snowball's rolling, and something's coming, and I don't know what will cause it, but with her at the SA's office and them working closer together than they are now, something big is going to come. There's going to be either a big blow up or another cheating thing, or she will get caught cheating maybe because she's been.
I need that in there. Like, can she get caught doing something bad?
Yeah, because Saint Alicia ain't that saintly. Thank you very much.
She's not.
But something's going to happen. There's a blow up between the two of them, and the chasm that has now been created with this election BS is going to widen and widen, and something bad's going to happen. And I think the SA's office in Cook County is going to lose an ally in the governor's office.
Mainly the governor.
Despite the fact that they are married. And I think it's going to tear, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's also going to tear Eli apart. You could see Eli being tugged because he really likes Alicia. He thinks she's the world of her. And he obviously works with Peter and does his magic with him. I don't know what'll happen with him, but it's going to tear Eli in two directions.
He needs to branch off and go do his own thing. Stop being a little puppet, little punk boy.
No, Eli runs everything.
Eli is the real governor.
Alicia nor Peter even realize that Eli's running the whole thing, which I think you're right. If when they split, it's gonna cause him to have to take a side.
Yeah.
And the person who's on the opposite side of Eli is the person who's really gonna lose.
For sure, 100%. Eli will never be defeated. I will be shocked if Eli gets defeated fair and square by somebody at anything.
The only one who can defeat Eli would be Marissa, his daughter.
Cute. That's it this week on the show, guys. If you were watching live and you've been hopefully commenting or tweeting us, if you're not, hit subscribe on iTunes or YouTube, and you can tweet us right now. Tara, where can they tweet you, Instagram you, whatever?
TJ wagging her tail.
And everyone, that's A Law, THATSALAW.
And you guys can tweet me at Bobby DeMuro. I'll also drop our links in the comment section on YouTube. Thank you for all the great comments. Remember, we want to hear your thoughts on Alicia and Peter this week. You can talk about their love and the broad discussion.
Their love.
or not love. Or you can talk about the specific discussion of the election this week. Either way, we want to hear from you guys about Alicia and Peter. That's it.
And don't forget about Finn, guys.
Oh, God.
Team Finn.
No, cut their
Team
mics.
Finn.
No more Finn.
Team Finn.
That's it this week on The Good Wife. Good night, guys. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Voiceover.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.